Hi St. Aidan's, and welcome to the first video in our Inductive Bible Study Seminar. It's our hope that as we release a video or two each day this week, that you'll feel more equipped and prepared to study the Bible at home and to grow in your walk with the Lord. So we have with us today one of my favorite people in the world. This is Tamara Mitten, and Tamara is not only a great Bible teacher, but she's also my sister. So, welcome here, Tamara.
Oh, thank you. It's a privilege to be part of St. Aidan's Church and to be able to share with you my passion for the Bible and for studying the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Tamara is my oldest sister. We have two other siblings in our family, and she's the oldest, I'm the youngest. So we grew up together up north in the Paw, and we also spent some time in YWAM together 10 or so years ago. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I first heard about the inductive Bible study method, and Tamara was actually a big part of that process. So it was back when I was in high school. I had this wonderful teacher, and she was teaching me how to write essays. And I remember talking to Tamara on the phone one night, and maybe this is my inner nerd coming out, but I was telling her how much I was just really enjoying my English literature class and how I was really excited about the way my teacher, Mrs. Marlowe, was teaching us to write essays. So the way she did it was she said that there are 3 questions that are answered in the body paragraphs in a short essay. And the first question is, what? The second question is, so what? And the third question is, now what? So these 3 questions were what kind of took a topic and helped the writer to explore it in a more and more expansive kind of way. So I was telling Tamara about this on the phone, and then she got very excited because she was basically saying to me that she was doing this exact thing, but with the Bible. And at that time, she was in Turner Valley, Alberta, studying the Bible, or maybe you were teaching by then, and teaching in the inductive Bible study method way. So that's very much along the same lines, and I'll get Tamara to talk about that in a minute. So I was very excited after I heard that Tamara was studying the Bible using this method, and I decided that after I finished high school, I wanted to join YWAM as well and do that school. So I don't know if you know anything about Youth with a Mission or YWAM, but when you join that organization, you have to do the first introductory school. It's called the Discipleship Training School. And then after you do the Discipleship Training School, sometimes it's called a DTS, then you can do all their other programs. So before I could jump into the School of Biblical Studies where Tamara was teaching, I did the Discipleship Training School. And it just so happened that because I was on the same base location as Tamara, she was teaching in the School of Biblical Studies, and I was doing my DTS. And both those schools joined and partnered their outreaches together. And so we both ended up traveling together to Mali, Africa, and we did our outreach there together at the same time. So I can literally say that I have been to Timbuktu and back again with Tamara. So that's a bit of a side note, but kind of fun. So anyways, after I did my discipleship training school, I did do the School of Biblical Studies, and it was just an amazing year of really diving deep into the Word of God, and I definitely felt like my spiritual growth just was so expanded that year, and I got to know a really awesome picture of the big view of a big picture view of the Bible, and it has really transformed the way I know God and how I relate to Him. So, best year of my life for sure. I'm very excited that you are going to be with us this week and learning more about the inductive Bible study method. So I'm going to turn this over to Tamara, and she's just going to share with us a little bit more about what the inductive Bible study method is, and a little bit more about how she was introduced to it and how it's made an impact in her life.
Thanks, Lori. Like I said, it's a privilege to be here, to be part of St. Aidan's Church, and to share with you my passion for the Bible. My interest in the Bible began when I was about 10 years old. And I decided when I was 10, I decided I was going to read through the Bible. And so I took probably a year or more to read through the Bible. And what I discovered was that as I was reading the Bible, I was getting to know God more and I was growing spiritually. But when I stopped reading the Bible, I stopped growing and would feel very spiritually dry. And so I discovered at a very young age that in order to grow in your faith and grow in your relationship with God, you need to consistently be reading the Bible and spending time in it. And so that was the beginning of my interest in the Bible, and that just continued to grow as I grew up, going through middle school and high school. I loved going to Sunday school, and I loved any kind of youth Bible study that I could go to. I was just hungry for more of the Bible. After high school, things changed a little bit. I was still reading the Bible, but I began to feel kind of frustrated with reading the Bible because I was struggling to understand it. I felt like I got what it was saying, kind of, but I felt like there was something more there that I just wasn't getting, and I was feeling frustrated about that. Around that same time, I decided to do the discipleship training school with Youth with a Mission, that introductory school that Lori was mentioning. And in the second week of that school, I was introduced to a young couple who came from Turner Valley. They were part of the School of Biblical Studies, and they taught on inductive Bible study. And so that week was my introduction to inductive Bible study method. And that week totally transformed my life, changed how I viewed my relationship with God. It changed the whole trajectory of my life and has led me to where I am today. So it had a huge impact on me. So during that week, what we did is we worked through the letter to the Galatians using inductive Bible study method. And in that process, I began to understand the Bible in a whole new way, and I felt like the world of the Bible was opening up to me, and that got me very excited. Mm-hmm. And as we were reading through Galatians is all about what Christ has done for us and the significance of his death and resurrection. And I learned in that week just what Jesus' death and resurrection means to me in terms of the freedom from sin, guilt, and shame that I was feeling, and just the new life that I can enjoy in the Spirit. And so it was transformational for me. That week, I decided I need to do the School of Biblical Studies, and so after my discipleship training school, I moved to Turner Valley, and I did the School of Biblical Studies there, and for 9 months, I studied through all 66 books of the Bible using inductive Bible study method. And that experience was so amazing. I loved it. Just soaked it all up, and I loved it so much. I decided I had to stay, and I had to help other people understand how to study the Bible and how to read it using inductive Bible study method. And so for 9 years after that, I worked with the School of Biblical Studies and was part of that. And teaching people how to study the Bible is something I continue to do even now after leaving Turner Valley. So like Lori said, I did a Master's of Divinity with the Canadian Southern Baptist Seminary, and am now pursuing a PhD in Old Testament with McMaster Divinity College. So like I said, it's totally changed the course of my life.
Yeah.
So you might be wondering, well, what is inductive Bible study method? Great question. Inductive Bible study is a method of looking at the Bible and allowing the Bible to speak for itself. So there's 3 basic steps to inductive Bible study method. The first is observation, the second interpretation, and the third application. Observation, in the step of observation, basically you ask that question, what does the text say? In the second step, the step of interpretation, you're looking at what did it mean to the people it was originally written for? Why was it written for them? And then in the third step, application, you're looking at, well, how is this now relevant to me, to me, to the church, to the world today? And that's basically the 3 steps of inductive method. So it's very similar to those 3 questions that Lori's teacher proposed. What, so what, and now what? Yeah. It follows those three questions. Over the course of the next week, I want to share with you some of the tools and method that I've discovered and learned as I've been studying the Bible using inductive method. And I want to share them with you so that you can understand the Bible better and grow in your relationship with Christ as well. Because that's what it's all about, is learning to love Christ more, to know him more, and to make him known. So here's what you can look forward to in the coming week. You'll learn what inductive method is, and we'll look closer at those 3 steps of inductive method and how to go about doing them.
So we'll be giving you a process to study the Bible at home. In our videos, we'll probably have some shenanigans by the St. Aidan staff just to keep it interesting.
It's the holy thing to do.
And we'll also give you an action step that you can try out practically at home just to help with the learning. So that's all for today, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video. Bye!
See you next time.
Hey, did you know that St. Aidan's has a Facebook group? Why not join our group and comment on the post that we posted today. We'd love to know, how is reading the Bible going for you? Is it hard? Is it easy? Did you find something that really works for you? Or are you really struggling right now and you could use some new ideas? We'd love to hear from you. So check us out. We'll put the link in the description below.
Restart.
We hope and
to be able to share with you one of my passions.
Like, subscribe, share.
Oh, you can't get the giggles down.
Okay.